Hold on, I'm here. I'm still bloody waiting. I don't know where she is. She's not here, that's for certain. I've been here over an hour already. I can't wait much longer. I've got to get home. I know, but I do have a wife to consider. But not my present wife, remember? Ah, she's here. I'll ring her later.
Mr. Richards, please sit down. Coffee or anything?
Thanks. No, I've had loads.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I was in a meeting.
You've been over an hour?
Oh, we discussed your son, Henry Richards, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, good. Well, then, has anything been sorted?
Tricky, this one. Your son was in sheltered accommodation in Whangarei, wasn't he?
Yes, I've got his social worker and his key worker numbers here.
Oh, there's a problem, you see. All his notes are there. He just turned up here 2 weeks ago.
Yes, his mother comes from there, my ex-wife. Then she came south and Harry decided to follow.
Tricky, you see. We're stacked full here.
Well, hang on a minute. My son's ill. He should be in hospital.
That wouldn't be possible. Our doctor seen Harry and said he wasn't ill enough for hospital.
What? Not ill enough? What do you bloody mean? What do you want? What sort of crap is this?
Mr. Richards, please calm down. There's nothing we can do here. Our hands are tied in situations like this. We've done all the proper things. We've had a doctor make a judgment on his mental state, and I have to take his word. It's all that I have to go on.
Well, what about the sheltered workshop? We have to get him in there.
Tricky again. I'm sorry, he was there when he first arrived. The house social worker said he was too disruptive and she had to let him go.
Why?
I'm afraid Harry blocked the drains with toilet paper. It took a day to get them cleared. She said he can go back there to the lunch club and get food there, but he can't stay there. He's too disruptive.
Are you sure you don't mean too ill? That's crazy behaviour, isn't it? Blocking up toilets? My son is a young man, only in his 30s. He's suffered since he was 16. Doctors diagnosing him with whatever fancy names in fashion. For Christ's sake! I've been asked to sort him out quite a few times since then. You see, the problem is, when he's up, he feels good. And he doesn't want to take his medication. And then off he goes. He needs some sort of treatment. He's sleeping outside Countdown, under cardboard, in the middle of bloody winter. I was speaking to the local copper when I was up there. He said, I wish he'd take a swing at me. Then I could put him in jail, and at least he'd be warm there. This is my son we're talking about. A human being who could possibly die of exposure because of your failure as a local health authority to do anything for him. You have a duty of care for him.
What about his mother? Could she take him in?
His mother lives in a home for the elderly. That's got its rules too. Only the tenants can stay there. Harry stayed there a couple of nights and they threatened to evict my ex.
Well, could you take him in?
I've got 4 kids by a second marriage.
I understand how you must be feeling. I really do, but there's only so much we can do here. We only have so many resources. So, okay, in the summer, the kinds are all down by the sea having jolly fun. Sleeping rough in the summer isn't such a chilling prospect.
This is exactly my point. Harry's sleeping rough. Suppose he gets flu. We're talking death here.
There's a joke about this place. You know how the map makes it look a bit like we're living in a Christmas stocking? Well, then you'll know that all the nuts go to the bottom right.
And by nuts, you mean what? The doctors? The staff?
Mr. Richard, I'd really like to help you, but honestly I can't. I'll see what I can do, but I can't make any promises.
Can't make any promises? Great. Well, it's quite clear what's going on here. You don't want to do anything. You hide behind what other people say. But what it amounts to is that my son, who is suffering from the most horrendous mental state, already diagnosed...
Not by us. Our doctor said he wasn't ill enough to be sectioned in a hospital.
This young man, Harry, my son, is out there picking through rubbish bins, stuffing paper in toilets, sleeping rough outside supermarkets and you tell me he's too ill for sheltered accommodation but not ill enough to go into hospital. Is that right?
I couldn't say, but I'll do what I can to try and get something sorted out for him. In the meantime, it would help if you could get his notes down to us.
He's too ill for sheltered accommodation but not ill enough to go into hospital. Yes or no? Come on!
It's more complicated than that.
Is it buggery?
I'm sorry, Mr. Russell, I can't continue this conversation.
Right then. Well, I'd like to tell you that I'm going to make a record of everything that you've said to me, and I'm going to send it to your local MP, the Chief Medical Officer, and the bloody Prime Minister. I know it won't make the slightest bit of good, but it might get some sort of response. A trickle down, perhaps, eh? No, can't you understand? My son is in danger here, and for all I know, in agony. And all you're doing is dragging things out. I can't make him take his medication. And who knows if it's making the slightest bit of bloody difference anyway. Education is the only treatment that this government subsidises. So we don't know if anything else would do anything more. You have a duty of care to him, damn it. And you know that you have. Don't you? You don't care at all. Damn it, you don't care. Welfare officer, my ass. I wish I could say that I can understand her position, but I can't. I don't think she cares enough to bend the rules a little. Anyway, Henry's been in and out of hospital since then, suffering from whatever name we're supposed to call it these days. It's always the same. You'd think there'd be a way of recognising it, of tracking the patient's notes immediately, but no, it's always a long-winded bloody process. Find a doctor to diagnose the problem. If he won't, then the fun and games start. I suppose you'd like to know how this all ended. Well, the letters were written and answered. They all hoped that things would change. So, all in all, the net result was totally useless. In the end, my ex and Henry's eldest sister took him with them to a cottage to stay for Christmas. Poor Henry. He was so afraid. He tried to, he needed help, but he was frightened, too frightened to tell anybody. He was paranoid that everyone was against him. And he started to smash the place up. The neighbours called the police. Wham! He was whisked into hospital. Suddenly, Henry is well enough to be sectioned. That was 2 years ago. Since then, Henry settled in Auckland. His notes have come down from Whangarei, and everybody's happy until the next time. But let me ask you something. If you knew that every time you needed help, you'd be escorted by cops, jabbed full of drugs that you didn't want, and locked up, wouldn't you be a little paranoid too?